Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, everybody. Excuse me. Happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday. Long time no see, everybody. We're getting close to 100K subs, everybody. Bella ciao, 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 sei mio partigiano che mi sento di morir. Ciao, everybody. Ciao, everybody. If you read this, you're gay. Ooh. Bella ciao, 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 sei mio partigiano che mi sento di morir. We are back. We are back. Oh, Luigi's gonna go crazy because there's a dog barking in the hallway, and Luigi doesn't like when a dog barks in the hallway. She really is not a fan of when the dog barks in the hallway. Luigi! Waluigi! Luigi! Do harass! It's fucking doing. It's fucking doing. It is fucking doing. Bellica Vivi. Ooh. Ooh, it's chaos in the Valenti house. Ooh, it's chaos in the Valenti stream. Oh no!
Are you gonna watch Vance host the Kirk show?
Are you gonna watch Vance host the Kirk show? What are you talking about? JD Vance is doing the Charlie Kirk show? Ooh. JD Vance is going to host the Charlie Kirk show? No shot. JD Vance, Charlie Kirk show. Thank you for the $50 donation. That's a fucking massive donation from Potter Stocks. You are the GOAT? No, you are the GOAT. Thank you very much, Potter Stocks Trading, for the $50 donation. Jada! Luigi! Come here! Luigi! Oh, my God. JD Vance to host the Charlie Kirk show today. No shot. What time? I'll have the honor of hosting the Charlie Kirk show. Post on X. Please join me as I. So when is this? What time? Anybody know? When is the Charlie Kirk show? Where is the Charlie Kirk show? What is the Charlie Kirk show? Who, what, when, why? Where is the Charlie Kirk show? At 12 p.m.? Oh, shit. Rumble, Real America's of... Oh, I gotta go to Rumble? I'm not doing that. What is this? Ugh. Okay. What is this?
But Zier, what are your thoughts? You've been like a combat correspondent on this for years. Your thoughts?
Oh my God.
I've seen too many.
Follow the God of the New
Huh? What the fuck was that?
Charlie Kirk is one of my closest friends, and it breaks my heart to hear
There are millions and millions of kids around the country who he inspired who now want to live with Charlie Kirk, and that's a great thing for our country.
It's a great thing that Charlie Kirk created so many fascists, and he was essentially the closest thing to the Hitler Youth program that we could have ever had. And now these young kids are gonna look to him as a martyr, and they'll be more easily radicalized.
I met Charlie for the first time in July of 2001. I went on his podcast, and I think we approached each other with a lot of trepidation at that time, but by the end of the podcast, We were soulmates. We were spirit.
You were soul gay. You did you just say you were soulmates with Charlie Kirk? You were soulmates with Charlie Kirk.
July of 2001, I went on his podcast, and I think we approached each other with a lot of trepidation at that time, but by the end of the podcast, we were soulmates.
Yeah, I bet you fucking were, dog.
We were spiritual brothers, and we were friends. And over the next couple of years, our friendship blossomed. He ended up being the primary architect of my unification with President Trump, which I...
Luigi!
Which I did my endorsement at his rally, at the Turning Point rally in Scottsdale. And he was the one who put the sparklers on the stage when I shook him. He made a big show of it. But the overarching mission of Charlie Kirk was Jesus, but also free speech, and he saw them as intertwined. He thought conversation was the only way we were going to heal our country. Now, we had to learn to talk to each other without vitriol, without poison, without anger. We had to be able to listen to ideas. We had to be able to say what we mean without being mean.
Sorry, you know what? I can't listen to RFK, bro. He sounds like a fucking nail on a chalkboard. I just can't listen to him. You guys want to hear some fuck shit? Ex-IDF chief confirms Gaza casualties over 200,000. This is what we've been saying. For a while, they've been claiming that it's only been like, what, 40,000 dead? And you've heard me a million times say, nah, that's bullshit. It's between 200 and 400,000 dead. We took the gloves off. Ex-IDF chief confirms Gaza casualties over 200,000. Retired General Hasan Piker says not once had legal advice constrained Israel's military decisions in the Strip. Excuse me. Former Israeli commander Herzl Halevi has confirmed that more than 200,000 Palestinians have been killed or injured during the war on Gaza, and that not once in the course of the conflict were military operations inhibited by legal advice. Okay, so they were just given carte blanche to do whatever the fuck they wanted, it seems. So the community meeting that more than 10% of Gaza's 2.2 million population had been killed or injured. It's more than 200,000 people. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is from The Guardian.
Right.
The other question nobody seems to have asked, one more question is, nobody seems to have asked, this outboard boat was 2,700 miles. How do we know it was coming to the U.S.? So they may be selling.
Yeah, they're talking about the Venezuelan boat that we bombed.
Well, we are the end destination point for whatever percentage of drugs coming out of Central and South America.
You don't think anybody in the Caribbean's using drugs? What if they're selling the drugs in Trinidad? Are we now the police for Trinidad?
Well, they always say,
are we going to blow up every boat? It's
Dude, look at how hard this fucking loser on the left is going so hard to be like, well, no, I mean, it's okay that we killed him, it's okay.
And you can't blow up.
Imagine if Valenti Video's got a low taper fade. Imagine if Valenti Video's got a low taper fade.
What I want to say, Senator, is
I always get this. Drugs on.
Hold on. Sorry, hold on. My friends are trying to decipher whether the shooter was left or right, and I'm trying to get them to understand he's a fucking Groyper. Interview with shooter grandma. Anyway, what is a Groyper? A Groyper is like a fan of Nick Fuentes. They're these alt-right fascists, usually Christian theocratic fascists, who believe in things like sadism, and they believe in the hatred of Israel not because of their humanity to the Palestinians, but because Israel is full of Jews. So that's why they hate Israel, and it's a big reason. Like the Groyper army has hated Charlie Kirk for a very, very long time, mainly because of his never-ending loyalty to the genocidal nation of Israel. So what, apparently this J.D. Vance Charlie Kirk thing is going to start in like 5 minutes? Yeah, and even Nick Fuentes wouldn't claim the guy publicly. Hold on, sorry. Anyway. What the fuck? Look at this. There's Malenti going crazy, adding links to the coverage. Malenti's going nuts. Malenti's going nuts. He doesn't even know that we're all watching. Malenti's going nuts. Anyway, all right, let's start looking at some stuff. How about the fact that Charlie Kirk's killer was a right-wing Groyper? I wanna start talking about that. I just did at the top. Let's see. That. And this. Utah governor says the motive in the Kirk shooting is not yet certain, but the suspect was on the left, they said, with zero fucking evidence. There clearly was a leftist ideology, Cox said in Meet the Press, citing interviews with Robinson's relatives and acquaintances. Friends have confirmed that there was that kind of deep, dark internet and Reddit culture. I gotta take a picture of that. Hold on. All right. Clearly how? Explain it like we are 5. All right, let me explain something to you guys. It's going to be really hard to explain to you what a Groyper is if you don't already know what a Groyper is. I can pull up their Wikipedia page to show you, but essentially you need to understand this. The Groyper army makes the MAGA Republicans look like Democrats, okay? The Groyper army looks at the things that Donald Trump does, and they say that's not enough. They see Donald Trump doing mass deportations, and they say, why are you mass deporting these people? Just kill them on the spot. Groypers see Trump funding Israel, and they say, why are you funding Israel? Just nuke Tel Aviv and kill all the Jews. That's what a Groyper would say. Okay, and the Groyper army has been following around Charlie Kirk to all of his different, college campus speeches, to the point where sometimes they like register to be the speakers, so that there's so many Groypers who are asking him questions that they sort of hijack the entire conversation, the entire event. It's happened numerous times. Let's keep reading here. Friends and family of the 22-year-old accused of fatally shooting conservative activist Charlie Kirk described his politics as veering left in recent years as he spent large amounts of time scrolling the, quote, dark corners of the internet, Utah Governor Spencer Cox said on Sunday. Investigators are still piecing together information about the suspect, Tyler Robinson, who is not yet ready to discuss a potential motive. But Cox noted that Robinson, who is not cooperating with law enforcement, disliked Kirk and may have been radicalized online. I didn't know that he wasn't cooperating. That's interesting. So he pointed to the reference found engraved on the ammunition to kill Kirk, which included anti-fascist and meme culture language. Court records show that one bullet casing had the message, "Hey, fascist, catch!" followed by upright, down, down, down. How are you going to neglect the fact that it was followed by upright, down, down, down? This wasn't like he said, "Hey, fascist, catch." This is a fucking quote from Helldivers. This is a pun on gaming. It's not like he was saying, "Hey, fascist, catch." This is a layered joke about Helldivers. Oh my fucking God. A Republican who called on all partisans to tone down their rhetoric following the attack, the governor added, "I really don't have a dog in this fight. If this is a radicalized MAGA person, I'd be saying that as well." Well, that's not true. Governor Cox said that he was praying that it wasn't one of ours. He said that he was praying that it wasn't a white Utah Christian-raised American. Hold on. So a buddy of mine said the bigger point to this is that this is trying to paint a narrative that being trans is linked to some sort of radical, violent instability. Even if Tyler were trans, statistically, trans people tend to commit some of the least likely to commit violence. Yes. Anyone trying to blame trans people is a R word. It's that simple. And it is. It's that simple. Charlie Kirk show is live now. Let's see. Where? Is this it? The fucking music, bro. Yeah, dude, why don't we play some of Charlie's greatest hits right now? Like when he said, being gay is an abomination, or when he said, there's no such thing as a hungry American child, or when he said, if my 9-year-old daughter was raped and impregnated, I would force her to give birth. What else? He said that black people are poisoning the culture of the West. I mean, there's just gun violence is a necessary sacrifice in order to keep your Second Amendment. There's just a lot. There's just a lot to cover. I'm not playing that fucking music. Yeah, he said he doesn't trust black surgeons or black pilots. And dude, his wife's speech was suspect, bro. His wife did not seem upset that he was dead at all. Oh yeah, Charlie also said the civil rights movement was a mistake. Whole thing is fucking strange, I can tell you that much. Yeah, no, the wife got me fucking side-eyeing it. It was really bizarre to watch. You think Mossad did it? I'm still thinking that this was government orchestrated, considering the level of division that it created. Like, I think that Charlie Kirk was a sacrificial lamb and that they killed him in order to radicalize the moderate right, and to bring about this sort of holy war against leftist ideology. That's genuinely my belief. I didn't know that this guy isn't cooperating. What did his wife say? I could show you. It was fucking weird. What was that on? I think it was on Instagram or TikTok. Let me see if I could pull it up on TikTok. It was fucking weird, bro. Let's see. Charlie Kirk, wife at casket. Anybody have that video of his wife at the casket? It was really fucking weird. Fake hands is crazy. That's not fake hands, bro. That's what dead people's hands look like, dog. Like taxidermied fucking hands, bro. Oh, it's on Instagram. Thank you for the loyalist. We doing Bad Company 2 Vietnam? I don't think so, bro. Those servers are long dead. Instagram, Charlie Kirk, wife over casket. This it? Yeah, this is it. This is some weird shit. Warning, corpse.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you so much. I love you. I love you.
This is fucking weird, bro.
Bless you.
Fucking weird as shit, dude. Yeah, A, why is she mic'd up? And B, why did they record this?
Okay, so what we'll do is let's just get on the habits here.
Also, maybe this is like a me thing. How the fuck is he not in the ground yet? Right? How the fuck is he not in the ground yet? They said the funeral is on the 21st, bro. They said the funeral is on the 21st. That's a long ass time, right? That's a long, like when my dad died, we had him in the ground, I think in like 3 days or some shit. He's still not in the ground. It's fucking weird, bro. Oh, JD went live. Okay, here we go.
Making our country a better place. He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president. And so much of our success over the last 7 months
I hate when motherfuckers are like, he just got killed for speaking his opinions. Oh, yeah? Would J.D. Vance end up on the show of anybody else who was just speaking their opinions? Charlie Kirk was much bigger than his fucking opinions.
Everyone knew him as this fearless debater, this guy who would take the conservative message into hostile places and inspire younger generations to have courage.
Fucking arguing with
One
freshmen.
thing that's hit a lot of those young Americans over the last week was how Charlie was there for them when others were not. When they were afraid to speak their minds, when they were afraid of what a professor would say, when they were afraid that they would be shouted down by their peers, Charlie was there, showing them that they could be courageous and that they could be bold. Charlie was a visionary. He was a luminary. He brought together people. He didn't just teach people how to speak. He didn't just teach people what to say. He didn't just teach people they could actually speak their mind on campus. He created a whole social network for an entire generation of young people. I know
for an entire generation
of
fascists
who met their wife, who met the best men at their wedding at a TPUSA event. Because as you guys all know, it's not just about speaking our mind, it's about making friends along the way and creating that support network that won an election and that staffed the current federal
you guys
government.
remember when our greatest threat was Mitt fucking
I owe so
Romney?
much to Charlie. I've had friends reach out in just the last couple of days who sent me messages, screenshots.
JD Vance,
that they
longtime friend of Charlie Kirk.
in the
How about Vice President of the United States
as his vice presidential running mate?
What the fuck?
And it's such an honor to have people show me that Charlie said, we want JD to be the VP nominee. And I just had a conversation with the president, and I think things are actually going well. I think he's actually going to choose JD Vance. Do you know what it means to me that such a good guy, such a good friend, such a lion and visionary of our movement was advocating for me? So I wanted to use this show today to advocate for Charlie, to talk about him, to talk about what kind of a guy he was, to talk about what kind of a man he was, what kind of a husband and father he was, and to take people, most of them from inside the administration, but some of them from without, who knew Charlie best, and to talk about what he meant.
This is really
what
fucking
he meant to
weird.
them, what he meant to this administration, and what he meant to the conservative movement.
I can't believe they killed him just to distract from the Epstein files.
A couple of days ago, on September the 11th, 2025, to fly out to Utah, where Charlie was shot and killed, to meet his wife, to meet his mom and his dad.
Hey, for anybody tuning in, this is not like whitehouse.gov. This is not a presidential video. This is the Charlie Kirk Show. JD Vance is hosting the Charlie Kirk Show. That's why it doesn't even say Vice President of the United States. I don't even think he's doing this as an official, like, executive representation of the United States. Like, this is like him doing this as an individual.
Just from that moment. First of all, when I first met Erica, his lovely wife, and such an incredibly brave soul. I'm not sure if you saw her remarks after Charlie died. If you haven't, I would encourage you to go and see them, because you see this raw grief and incredible courage.
That wasn't raw fucking grief. Bro, I seen the goddamn videos of his wife. This shit is fucking weird as shit, bro.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Did you guys see the video that she posted too? That like long ass fucking speech that she. First of all, who's posting this stuff? Who is posting this stuff when your loved one dies? Who does this? I have dead loved ones. You don't do this shit. This is fucking bizarre. This is fucking bizarre, bro. Like, I'm starting to think Erica fucking killed him.
And I didn't try to console her, because how can you console a person who just lost a loving husband and father? But we just talked about Charlie. We talked about who he was. We talked about some of our favorite stories. We talked about some of his idiosyncrasies and all the things that made Charlie Kirk who he was. And she said something to me that I will never forget. My wife was there. It was just me and my wife on my side, and then a lot of people from the Turning Point's family, a lot of people from Charlie's family. And she said to me that Charlie never raised his voice, that he never cussed at her.
I've heard him curse. I've heard him raise his voice.
And look, I'm a husband. I'm proud of being
off, dude. Charlie Kirk has said over and over again, he goes, hey, remember when Taylor Swift got proposed to? He goes, Taylor, you better submit to your husband. You're not in charge anymore. Submit to your husband. Do what he says. Fuck you, dude. He thought he was the ruler of the household simply because he had a cock.
I needed to be a better husband, and I needed to be a better father, because of all these moments that I shared just in the last few days, the books that I've read to my kids, going up to their bedroom and kissing them and hugging them before bed. I just realized that all of these moments that I get to have, Charlie is not able to have them anymore. And Charlie's kids and his beautiful wife are not able to have them anymore. And maybe the best way that I can contribute, and the best way that I can honor my dear friend, is to be the best husband that I can be, to be the kind of husband to my wife that he was to his.
Yo, so you're gonna hit her?
Yeah, we talked all the time about the most important thing you could do is not vote for a particular candidate. It was to become, if you were a young man, a husband and a father. He talked about the joy that came from fatherhood, the joy that came from raising a family and being part of their growth and their development, and all the incredible things that happen when you get to be a husband and father.
No, JD wears eyeliner all the time, bro. He's always wearing eyeliner.
To be the very best at that most important job that I can be. But that's not the only way that I'm going to honor Charlie. And there's going to be a lot of discussion over the next 2 hours of this radio program about what exactly that looks like. It's important, and Erica asked me this, to make sure that his movement, the movement that Charlie started, it has to keep going. We have to build upon it. We have to add to it. We have to make sure that the next generation of young people feels confident and courageous to speak their mind and to speak the truth. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why do we do this? Of course, we do this so that we can enact good public policy and take back our country. We're going to talk with senior officials in the administration about what we're trying to do to honor Charlie's legacy in that way.
All right, fuck Charlie Kirk. We got real fucking news. Poland's president authorizes deployment of NATO troops in the country. You've got to be fucking kidding my dick off. You've got to be joking my dick clean off of my body. Polish President Karol Nawrocki signed a resolution on Sunday authorizing the deployment in Poland of NATO forces in response to an incursion by Russian drones into the country's airspace. Oh! Come on, man. Come on, man. Hold on. I gotta say something in the group chat. Hold on. NATO just deployed troops in Poland. We are headed into fucking World War. Unfucking believable. Oh my god, this is updated today, bro.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, Poland has seen this before. I want to see some other breaking news. What do we got? Ah, shit. Here we go again. 2 men arrested in Utah after explosive device found under news vehicle. What? This is what I'm saying, bro. This is the retaliatory strikes beginning. Left under vehicle is failed to function. Oh my god, bro. Adib Nasir and Adil Justice Ahmed Nasir booked at Salt Lake County Jail on Sunday. Threats of terrorism, possessing weapons of mass destruction, possessing explosive devices. Jesus Christ. Well, at least the bomb didn't go off. I wonder what news channel it was underneath. Or a news media vehicle. I'm assuming Fox News, right? I'm just going to assume Fox News, right? Has to be Fox News, probably. Hold on. What is this on? AA.com? Let me get a picture of this. Why do they keep saying beautiful wife? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that.
First, Russia is holding major military exercises amid some of the worst tensions in Europe since it invaded Ukraine. The exercises in Belarus come just days after Russia sent drones into neighboring Poland for the first time. Now NATO countries are on high alert. ABC's Patrick Reevell is in Belarus with the latest. Hi, Patrick.
You can see the smoke behind me. You can hear the firing. There are thousands of Russian and Belarusian troops taking part in these exercises here in Belarus. We're on a firing range where you can see them demonstrating right now. They're pretending to storm a village over here. These exercises.
They're pretending to storm a. It's so cute when the military pretends to do stuff. It's so fucking cute.
Taking part.
Yeah, Belarus is on Russia's side. Russia and Belarus. Russia's been using Belarus as a springboard for the invasion of Ukraine.
Moment of high tension in Eastern Europe. It's just a week since Russia launched drones into Poland for the first time since its invasion of Ukraine. The last time that Russia held these exercises here was back in 2021 when it used them as cover for building up troops to invade Ukraine, launching an attack months later against Kyiv from here in Belarus. Now, this time, the exercises are much diminished. There are only a few thousand Russian troops believed to be taking part because Russia cannot spare them from the war in Ukraine. But tensions, though, remain high. NATO countries are on alert. Poland has closed its border with Belarus.
What is this, a picture of the corner of a building? Or am I so fucking stupid that I can't even see a sniper? Is this supposed to be a sniper or just like the picture of the corner of a fucking building?
Because of these exercises, it has also moved thousands of its own troops closer to the border. But it's now also been a month since President Trump rolled out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin in Alaska. Since then, he has only escalated the war in Ukraine, intensifying air attacks. And now the reason we have been brought here to Belarus...
You know how goddamn loud it is for this guy? No earplugs. I promise you, this guy cannot even hear himself talk right now.
Because Vladimir Putin wants to send a message to the West. He wants to say that he can continue the war in Ukraine and will not be deterred from trying to achieve his goals there.
All right, Patrick Reevell for us in Belarus. Thank you.
Yep, things are not looking too good for the United States. TikTok removed hashtag Groyper on... Yeah, I believe that. I mean, dude, I had like 14 videos pulled yesterday on TikTok. I'm probably going to get banned on TikTok soon. It's the new guidelines, but I don't really give a fuck. Today was payday on TikTok, so I got my money for the past month. They could take away the goddamn channel, and I wouldn't give a fuck. They've done it before. Remember, I had a fucking account with 3 million followers, and that got banned. Sniper setup, they cover this over the jacket. I figured that was a sniper. I figured it was. Also, real quick, guys, shameless plug. Hi, I'm Chris Valenti. If you're new here, because we got a lot of new subs, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know every time I go live. Other than that, this is real independent media. I have no funding. I have no advertisers, no sponsors. I've never had a conversation with a billionaire or a government or any of that shit. So if you do want to support the channel financially, there's a couple of ways that you could do that. Every last dollar goes into, you know, like running this operation. You can hit the thanks button down below to donate to the channel. You can buy merch down below, like the Democratic Socialist poster. We also have Constitusi mugs. You can use the 40% off discount code for Ground News located down below. You can become a member here on YouTube by clicking join down below, and you can become a patron on Patreon. Yeah, those are the ways. What the fuck did Hasan just post? Hasan just posted that Elon Musk wants to deplatform him again. Elon Musk has been going fucking crazy on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I mean, maybe you have, but Elon Musk has been going fucking brazy. Let's see. Yeah, so he spoke at this fucking anti-migrant protest in the UK, which was really fucking strange. We covered this in yesterday's video. But some of the shit that he's been saying is fucking insane. I gotta find some of it. They will be held accountable. They're all Nazis, they're all Nazis, they're all Nazis, they're all Nazis. Well, I mean, if they just stop being Nazis, they won't have to fear. You know? Like when Brian Kilmeade goes on Fox News and says that we should just start killing all the homeless people with involuntarily lethal injections. Yeah, that's Nazi shit. If you don't want me to call you a Nazi, maybe stop being a fucking Nazi. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. call to cancel Chris Pratt. The intolerant left have started a campaign to pressure Disney into dropping Chris Pratt after he posted a message praying for Charlie Kirk and his family. Oh, who gives a fuck about Chris Pratt? Matt Walsh goes, transgenderism is a death cult. The largest, most well-funded, and deranged death cult that this country has ever seen. Bro, every single accusation is a fucking confession from these people. First of all, you need to be, I'm going to say a slur real quick, you need to be fucking retarded to blame trans people for this shooting. Genuinely. Second of all, if there's ever been a death cult in American history, it's MAGA. You guys created a concentration camp and nicknamed it Alligator Alcatraz and then started selling merch that says Alligator Lives Matter. You posted ASMR footage of fucking deportations. You posted a snuff film of us dropping a bomb on a Venezuelan boat full of innocent civilians. You are literally a death cult. And you're gonna blame, I'm sorry, transgenderism? Transgenderism, as if it's a fucking political ideology. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. This is so fucking stupid.
At times, there is simply nothing to effectively create change in the world we desire. And Side Prop will argue that at times there is simply nothing else that can be required other than violent retaliation. And this is a view I wholeheartedly agree
I've made
with.
videos about him being a groyper.
The view that some institutions are too broken, too regressive, too oppressive to be reformed. Like cancers of our society, they must and they should be taken down by any means necessary.
Based. When you vote for a candidate, you are voting not just for a person, but for an entire organization. A vast structure that is employed below, beneath, above, and around them. Jesus Christ, I'm not reading that whole fucking thing, bro. Matt Walsh. BLM riots, Antifa, church shootings, Trump assassination attempt, Charlie Kirk assassination attempt, pro-life pregnancy center fires, Tesla vandalism, attack on ICE agents, attack on police, attack on federal courthouses. This is merely a partial list. Nearly all of the political motivated violence in America is committed by one side. That's incorrect. 57% of all mass shooters are white Christian men. Oh my God, dude, I saw these same people try and claim that the shooter who killed Melissa Hortman, the Democratic lawmakers, they were trying to claim that that was a left-wing nut job too. These people, listen, they're allergic to the truth. They're allergic to the truth.
Horrific stories and how the government did nothing and try to hide it. They try to hide these horrific crimes. And then you see how much violence there's on the left with our friend Charlie Kirk getting murdered in cold blood this week. And people on the left celebrating it openly. The left is the party of murder. And
celebrating death openly. Hold on. Celebrating death openly. Like that? That's so strange, dude. That's so strange. Celebrating death openly, like, hold on. Like that? Alligator lives matter. The good news is alligators are guaranteed at least 65 million meals now if we get started. 65 million. Where do I know that number? How many Latinos are in the U.S.? Oh, that's what you meant. Oh, so when Laura Loomer said alligators are guaranteed at least 65 million meals now if we get started now, she didn't mean undocumented immigrants. She meant a literal fucking genocide on the entire Hispanic population of the United States of America, and you don't want me to call that evil cunt a fucking Nazi? Listen up, fucking cockholster lips Laura Loomer, you literal fucking trailer park cobweb cunt. You are a Nazi. You're a fucking Nazi. Uh-oh. I bet you don't like it when people be calling you Nazis. Especially in a time like this, huh, Laura Loomer? Maybe stop being a fucking Nazi, you fucking cunt. Look at this. No, literally. It only took 294 days to get from immigrants are eating animals to we will feed immigrants to animals. Disgusting fucking trailer park dick-sucking whore. Fuck you, you trash bitch. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. My dad told me he never wants to talk to me again over my reaction to Charlie Kirk. Well, good. That means you just cut off a piece of shit in your family known as your father. I'd take that as a fucking win, dog. I would take that as a fucking win. Did you guys see the way Trump was reacting to Charlie Kirk being killed when he was like, hold on. Trump asked about Kirk, talks about ballroom. It was so fucking funny, dude. Ruby Tuesday just became a loyalist. Thank you very much. Is this it? Yeah. Watch this, bro. You want to know, like, yo, to all the MAGA people watching this, just so you know, Donald Trump couldn't give less of a fuck about that dead idiot. How are you holding up over the last 3 days after the Charlie Kirk assassination? That was the question. Watch this.
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the...
He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck, dude. He doesn't give a fuck.
Very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty. It'll be an absolutely magnificent structure. And I just see all the trucks. We just started, so...
Bro, he actually does have the energy of like a, like, you guys ever met like a young kid who's really obsessed with Bob the Builder? That's what this reminds me of. Like, Trump is like a, yeah, he's like an unbothered autistic queen. He's like, I love building. Ooh, look at all the sand. And then the crane picks up the sand and it pulls it and it drops it. And we have trucks, big trucks. And the trucks, they carry concrete. Ooh, we love concrete. We're gonna build it and I got the hard hat and I got the hammer and I'm gonna build the ballroom. Like, literally, you're a fucking autistic child obsessed with Bob the fucking Builder, Donnie.
It'll get done very nicely, and it'll be one of the best...
Can we fix it? I don't care.
Anywhere in the world, actually.
Brother doesn't give a shit. Brother doesn't give a fuck. U.S. warplanes in Puerto Rico as a show of force in the drug war. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. And then also Trump came out and said that we might just let TikTok die. That's what he said. Trump lets TikTok die.
I may or may not. They're negotiating TikTok right now. We may let it die, or we may, I don't know, it depends. Up to China. It doesn't matter too much. I'd like to do it for the kids. They like it. I mean, selfishly speaking, I did very well on TikTok, and I got the youth vote. I got numbers that nobody's ever even come close to in the Republican Party. Nobody. If you look back to Romney and all these people, they got practically no votes. I got a lot. And some was attributed to TikTok, and a lot was attributed to
You say he's just going to let it die?
I may or may not. They're negotiating TikTok right now. We may let it die, or...
Yeah, we may let it die. What is this?
Yeah, there is also this going on. There's an ongoing smear campaign on Twitter that has led to all of right-wing Twitter targeting Hasan. Yeah, this is something that I have...
Right Angle News Network. Bro, Right Angle News Network sent me a death threat on TikTok. Right Angle News Network has like tens of thousands of subs, and they literally sent me a death threat. Not even fucking kidding. Now, the thing is, I get death threats all the fucking time. It's an unnecessary, and unfortunately, it's part of this career. Pull it up. No, dude, I blocked that fucking person immediately. But Right Angle News Network actually sent me a fucking death threat.
I've noticed as well. I think Elon, this is the reason why I said I think Elon Musk wants me to be killed. Yeah, there is some very strange machinations on Twitter. In the past 2 days, the clip compilation of Hasan calling for violence and air quotes at the beginning posted by right-wing accounts and has gone ultra-viral, millions upon millions of views. It was seemingly created by Tectone. It wasn't. It was created by a sex pest in the orbiter. I don't think Tectone even knows how to use editing software. Anyway, Dicktone posted it, who hinted at this. See first image, and it blew up and reposted by Right Angle News Network. Since then, Grums, Dan Saltman, Tectone and the Quartering, Drew Pavlo, and other right-wingers have been spamming it. Some even saying that Hasan said these things after Charlie died. Elon Musk has replied several times. The compilation is a joke. The first one is him 3 years ago talking about Democrats needing to be better at debate rhetoric. He's being hyperbolic and is not meant to be taken literally. I know, but they clipped it in a way where it seems like I'm saying like the Democrats need to start killing people or something. The second is him reciting what some angry conservatives said in a voicemail to a Republican politician that made him resign. Hasan was highlighting the anger people feel with their
Yeah, so also one thing that I want to point out is the incredible hypocrisy from people on the right who are calling out political violence on Charlie Kirk, and their literal response to that is, we need political violence on Hasan Piker. We need to kill Chris Valenti. That is the response from these fucking people. And I don't mean to be rude, but if you can blame an entire political party for the actions of one man, you have a mental disability and you should consider not speaking publicly.
Representatives. There's also a clip of Hasan talking about the ACP and Fuentes calling again, not for a call for violence, but they're banking on people
I get death threats
knowing
every single day, but since Charlie Kirk got assassinated, I have gotten more death threats than the entirety of my career combined.
The ACP is and doing what they always do, taking his jokes sincerely. Regardless, this tricked most of the right-wing Twitter, who are all calling for him to either be banned, arrested, deported, or killed. These right-winger influencers either don't understand or do that when Twitch doesn't ban Hasan for these out-of-context clips, it might convince very angry people that violence is the only solution. They're putting a massive target on Hasan's
Wait, really?
back.
Yes!
There's one tweet.
Bro, fucking, I got a death threat from Right Angle News Network, who we're talking about right now. We're talking about like a channel with hundreds of thousands of subs on Twitter.
Very last one from Tectone, where he completely fabricates quotes from Hasan. He's as good as putting a hit on him with the one about Kirk. Yeah.
Do you really get that? Yes, guys. Guys, yes. I am one of the loudest voices for the political left. I get death threats every single fucking day.
As you can tell, it's like me with long hair talking about the Democrats and their inability to address Herschel Walker with like aggressive tone. Yeah, there's a longer clip, obviously, that Elon Musk replied to. And Elon Musk has been highlighting these like nonstop for the record. If you look at the context of it, it's very clear what I'm saying. I'm sick and tired of it. Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the is this shit, man? Slice them up. Slice them and dice them. What?
I will admit, not a good look. Not a good look, Hasan.
What the is this? You know what's really ironic about this, by the way? I defended Donald Trump when liberals were attacking Donald Trump about the Liz Cheney comments. The argument there is not about, like, you know, putting Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad and killing her.
I assume it means metaphorically. That's what I'm assuming as well. But yeah, it's horrid out of context.
What he's obviously contextually trying to say is that, like, Liz Cheney would be singing a different tune if she actually was personally involved, as in if she actually was forced to, you know, serve in the military. You cannot have a bigger layup. You could not have had a bigger layup. Their CEO's favorite content creator. He admits he uses coded language. All landlords of the road soaking their capital's blood. If you want to fix America, you should talk. But in the end, they didn't find of political. And I explained my position when he was working for a private healthcare provider in the state of Florida. Actually, did Olympic.
Hasan is the entry to the left, not the end point. I don't know about that. Hasan's pretty far to the left. I think like the entry point is somebody like Kamala Harris. That's how you enter the left. And then you end up finding out that the left, like the establishment Democrat Party, is kind of just the exact same as the right wing. And you start moving more and more to the left. You end up a social Democrat. Then you end up a democratic socialist. Then you end up a communist. That's just how it happens. I do have a Patreon. You can also become a member here on YouTube, but I do have a Patreon. You can become a patron over there. Still not, but I don't know why. If All right, let's check in on JD again.
We're talking to so.
And I remember, you know, one particularly difficult moment, probably the hardest moment on the campaign trail for me. We had an event in Arizona, I believe, with a bunch of faith leaders, and it was the one time on the entire national campaign where I gave my chief of staff a hug and apologized to him because I was just I hadn't seen the kids in 7 days. I was particularly cranky. And I get to this event, I'm just kind of like, man, come on, we got to do this again. And Charlie comes back and he gives me a hug. And he's like, you know, your kids, you know, they love you. And they're going to realize eventually why this was so important to do this. And that kind of gave me this sense of, all right, my head's back in the game. And that was what Charlie was always good at, setting ridiculous objectives, but finding some way to motivate.
Brother is just admitting that he was like begrudgingly going on the campaign trail and that he was like, oh, I don't want to fucking do this. You're running for vice president. Shut the fuck up. Who are these douchebags?
Everyone's best cheerleader. And the last
Klan
time I
meeting?
saw him, I have a lot of peace in my heart because I had a very good interaction with him, as we always do. I was wandering the hallways of the EOB, and I must have had a horrible look on my face. And he literally, he jumped down the stairs, he put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, what's going on? I just mentioned, man, you know, my baby's 6 months old. We are going through it. We are really, I'm struggling, man. And he sat there and he prayed for me in the halls of the EOB for quite a bit of time. And he didn't need to do that, right? You know, it could have been a quick check-in. And I asked him, I said, dude, how do you do it? How are you doing it? You're killing it. You're a great dad. You guys are doing an amazing job at turning point.
Yeah, great dad, by the way. He said if his daughter gets raped, he'd force her to give birth.
A great team. And I laughed and I said, cool. So are you going to donate to the Kaylin Nanny Fund after this? And he said, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I have a great team. I said, you and JD and everyone here in this building are part of the team. And I know that he would be very excited to see all the work that we have going on here in the administration, but also all the testimonials. I mean, like, I don't know how the guy had the bandwidth. Like, the sheer volume of people whose lives he touched that we're just now discovering is out of control. And I think, you know, growing up, we didn't have a turning point. We didn't have a Charlie. We didn't have these kind of people in our lives who dedicated and put in the blood, sweat, and tears to go make sure that this was a thing that existed for people like us. And you know, the lasting message is that, and you know, I think I've said this at Turning Point events before, is that the left wins, the enemy, they win when you feel alone.
The enemy.
And when you
because
feel
the
like
left
you're the only
win,
one who
he just
thinks,
cut himself
needs
off
praise.
to rephrase the left as the enemy. Your ideological opposition is not your enemy. Fascists are your enemy. No matter what side of the political aisle you are on, fascists are your enemy because fascists do not want you to have a say, whether you're on the right or the left. A fascist does not believe in voting. A fascist does not believe in democracy. And also, I want to point something out. You know what I've seen a lot of on the right? People going, this guy was against Republican values regarding the shooter. He said, hey, fascists, catch. Are you just admitting you're fascists? Are you just why are you embracing that term? The same way that I saw Republicans on Twitter say this is our Reichstag fire, but they were like embracing it, going, it's time for us to crack down on them. This is our Reichstag fire. Are you comparing yourself to the Nazis unironically? Proudly? You're saying you're the Nazis in this scenario, you fucking idiot.
Tried to cut him down at his strongest, doing the most important thing that he was doing for our country. I mean, Taylor, you mentioned his sister, or your sister, going to a Turning Points event. And the thing about Charlie, and this is, again, something I don't know that people fully appreciate unless you know him particularly well, is he was such a bright guy, right? He read theology, and he read political philosophy, and he knew all these, like, crazy citations. And
can we cover real
knew,
news?
Like, every Bible
Unfortunately, this is real news. You are watching your country embrace theocratic fascism because they had a sacrificial lamb named Charlie Kirk. Whether you want to see this or not doesn't make this fake news or unimportant news. This is probably the most important news of the fucking year. This is how they do it. This is how they embrace Christian fascism. The revisionist attitude when talking about this guy is so fucked up. Yeah, I know. It's pathetic. Excuse me. All right. President Trump has signed an executive order directing Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to create a standing National Guard Quick Reaction Force, a domestic military unit trained, resourced, and ready for rapid nationwide deployment to support law enforcement. And you can't support law enforcement if you're the military. That's a violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. Okay, so they're going to invoke the Insurrection Act. Under the order, Hegseth must designate Guard members in every state to ensure that they are trained, equipped, and make them available for mobilization at the president's direction. That's illegal. That's incredibly illegal. This is just blatantly the military police. This is just violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. Is this shit gonna load? I don't think this shit's gonna load. Oh, I got such a good laugh at that. We have the watch now, brother, and I'll see you in Valhalla. No way he said that. He did. You want to see it? You want to see it? It's really fucking funny, dude. Cash Patel, see you in Valhalla. It's so funny, dude. It's so Look at this shit. Oh, that's so funny. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, dude. Everyone's roasting his ass for this shit.
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Breaking news, FBI Director Kash Patel has advocated for us to blood eagle the suspected shooter of Charlie Kirk, saying it's high time that we start spilling blood in the name of Odin, our perfect and humble lord. Like, you've got to be fucking my bussy. You've got to be fucking my buss. Oh yeah, did you guys see this shit? Trump just called everyone who voted for him stupid. It was hilarious.
Me, you know? And they don't like what we... Smart people don't like me, you know? And they don't like what we talk about, but he's become radicalized. So many things have been learned about him so quickly. He's become totally radicalized and crazy, and it must have been traumatic because the parents are conservative people, supposed to be very nice people, living in Utah, and the father turns into son.
Yo, did you guys hear that allegedly, this is rumor, this is all rumor, but allegedly, when this kid told his dad what he did, allegedly his father held him at gunpoint until he turned himself in. Allegedly, his father held his own son at gunpoint until he was turned into the FBI. Yo, I said allegedly, Athena. I said allegedly. I said allegedly. If that's true, bro, that is fucking nuts.
Boy, that's a tough deal. I actually asked somebody in the FBI, how often does that happen where, knowing even the guilt, that a father will turn in or parents will turn in the son? And he said, almost never.
Yeah, almost never, bro. There's just something fucked up about Mormons. You do know that Utah has the death penalty. Like, that father quite literally executed his own son by turning him in. Like, literally. Like, they're probably going to chase after the death penalty for this kid. And if that happens, like, Dad, you did that. You did that. Fucking nutty. Father of the year, huh? Father of the year. They have the firing squad. Well, if I'm being so honest here, out of all of the ways to inflict the death penalty, firing squad is probably the most humane. Out of all of the ways that we have done it throughout history, a firing squad is probably the most humane way, if I'm being honest. I don't think that's controversial. But yeah, I want to watch Kash Patel one more time.
To my friend Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
I'll see you in Valhalla. The fucking Hindu said to the Catholic. The Hindu said to the Catholic, I'll see you in Valhalla. That's so fucking stupid, bro. You know, it's funny. I hate Charlie Kirk. But if Charlie Kirk heard that, he'd be like, dude, what the fuck? I'm not going to Valhalla. Charlie Kirk would believe that he's going to heaven, okay? Because Charlie Kirk believed in a heaven and a hell. Now, I don't believe in a heaven and a hell, but if they were real, he would be roasting in the seventh circle, okay? Let's be fucking honest about this. Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla. Yeah, I also want to talk about rest now, brother. We have the watch is stolen valor. Isn't that what the Navy does?
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk. Rest now, brother. We have the watch.
Isn't we have the watch some military shit? Right? Neither of you were in the military. Kash Patel was never in the military. Charlie Kirk was never in the military. That's military shit. That's just straight up stolen valor, bro. Am I gonna don't know why? Am I Sorry, that's the stim of the day. It's gonna be locked because it's Reuters, ain't it? Call a national emergency in federalized Washington, D.C. Oh, Jesus Christ. That Valhalla bullshit was hilarious. Your country is circling the drain. Yeah, I know, dude. That Valhalla shit was so fucking stupid. The phrase, we have the watch, comes from U.S. naval maritime tradition, particularly in ceremonies marking the retirement or change of command of a service member. The watch stands relieved. This acknowledges the long service of a sailor or marine, then ends with shipmate. Quote, shipmate, the watch stands relieved. We have the watch. That's what I'm saying. I've heard this before. I saw a ceremony of some high-ranking military member retire, right? And the other guy is a room full of people, including the guy's family, and the other guy was like, he said essentially all of that. He was like, the watch has been relieved. We have the watch. I saw this years ago. And I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. That's a cool little ceremony. You know what I'm saying? And then I see this fucking douchebag say it, and I'm like, wait a minute. You can't say that. That's not yours. You don't get to say that. It was so tough, Loki. The coldest thing he could have said. I have shivers down my spine. Oh, Jesus. And to my brother, Charlie Kirk. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, anti helwa. May you enter the great halls of Jannah. Oh, I heard that he took those shahada before he bled to death. I heard that he welcomed Allah into his heart. Thank you for the $50. Cops say it too. Cops say it too when they die or retire. Oh, that's fucking weird. Inshallah. Last night's speeches at that vigil were like war calls. Yeah, dude. Literally. And now, Your watch has ended. Shut the fuck up. I'm not making a video right now. After Charlie Kirk's killing, conservative evangelical leaders hail him as a mart. Is this motherfucker carrying a cross? Oh my God. Dude, America's got to be the most sacrilegious nation on planet Earth. Just blasphemy and idolatry left and fucking right, bro. I truly believe there are two forms of Christianity. There is Christianity and then there is American Christianity. American Christianity is fucking demented shit. It is a complete bastardization of what, like, scripture even is. Oh, Jesus Christ. The attack on Charlie Kirk was much deeper than a political attack on the First Amendment. It was spiritual in nature and an attack on the very institution of the church. Oh, my God. Several conservative pastors compared Kirk to the biblical figure Stephen, who was stoned to death and is regarded as the first Christian martyr of the New Testament. You can't make this shit up, bro. I hope that Charlie's life would inspire people to live a life worth living. Beyond the political influence that Charlie made, the great influence that Charlie made was upon the body of Christ. Dude, religion is actually going to bring about the downfall of humanity. Religion is the most dangerous thing that humans have ever created. It's just an excuse to do whatever the fuck you want. He wasn't just a man who was struck down and died, which is tragic, of course. What you saw was a righteous man martyred, and Americans haven't seen that before. He was martyred because he had an explicit worldview of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and he shared it everywhere he went. A spiritual war. See, this is what I mean, guys. I don't want to be spending all my time talking about Charlie Kirk. I understand you when you say, like, what, can we talk about real news? I understand the annoyance of this. But this is important, whether you accept it or not. This is the beginning of a fucking holy war in the United States of America. Usually, we get on planes, fly halfway across the country to fucking Iraq or Afghanistan to wage our holy wars. But now we've got a holy war being waged within the United States of America. This is why I firmly believe that this was a government-orchestrated hit, a sacrificial lamb, completely planned out. Truly. That is truly what I believe. Although Kirk started his career as a more secular conservative who highlighted the separation of church and state, during the COVID-19 pandemic, he jumped to the defense of churches that rebuffed lockdown mandates and became more outwardly religious. In 2021, Kirk launched Turning Point USA Faith in coordination with McCoy, which hosted Freedom Night in America, a monthly event series of, quote, rallies designed to address current cultural and political issues from a conservative perspective. He advocated for the U.S. as a Christian state and referenced the Seven Mountains Mandate, an evangelical ideology calling for the church to dominate 7 sectors: family, religion, education, media, arts, and entertainment, business, and government. There is no separation of church and state, he said on his podcast in 2022. It's a fabrication, it's fiction, it's not in the Constitution, it's made up by secular humanists. You want me to grieve this guy? You expect me to grieve this dude? When he's advocating for the destruction of my nation and the installation of a theocratic fascist world? You want me to grieve this shit? Are you out of your fucking mind? His death is evidence of the persecution of Christianity under attack in the United States of America. Oh, you know what else is under attack? Islam. You want to know why? You keep on funding Israel to bomb 200,000 Muslims to death. Simply because they happen to be born in Palestine. 1 hour and 34 minutes of the vigil. Listen to her words. Let's see. 1 hour and 34 minutes into the vigil, you say? Well, I have to find her vigil. Let me find her vigil. You said an hour and 34 minutes in?
Across the country as authorities
up to speed on the latest
This
in
is
this
only a
investigation.
2-minute coverage. I don't have... Somebody send me the link, dude. I'm too fucking lazy. Somebody send me the link to the, to her speech, and then I'll find it. Do I wanna know why? If I know, yeah, also, I'll say something that is definitely controversial. Charlie's children are better off without him. If Charlie's daughter was raped and impregnated, Charlie would have forced her to give birth to that child. Now, at least Charlie's children, if they're raped and impregnated, they get to choose what to do with their own body. At least that. That's something. Her mom will force her to have it. Yeah, but the thing is, their mom is a woman, and according to Christian ideology, women don't matter. Their voices are fucking meaningless, so they can disregard what their mom says because she's a woman. Fuck her. Nothing she says fucking matters. There's no husband in the family. There's no ruler of the household. She should just be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and keep her fucking mouth shut like the good Christian woman she is, right? That's not my belief. That's Charlie Kirk's belief. If his wife were to be a good Christian wife, she would shut the fuck up, get impregnated, be barefoot, and make me a fucking sandwich, right? According to Charlie Kirk. Listen, that's Charlie Kirk's beliefs, right? That's what Charlie Kirk says, right? You know, submit to your husband, right? That's what he says. So, whoopsie. Whoopsie bo boopsie. I've seen the AI videos of Charlie in heaven. They're the dude. Somebody needs to study the right wing's obsession with AI generated videos. I'll show you some of them. Charlie Heaven AI. Charlie. I did see his Trump's AI generated speech. But yeah, you get shit like this. Shit like this. You can't make this shit up. Rush Limbaugh! Oh God, what are you gonna do next? Henry fucking Kissinger? What is this? That's not even Charlie fucking Kirk. Who is that? Carly Chirk? Thank you for the $5. TikTok people saying he'll be resurrected. I saw that. They were like, what are the leftists going to do when Charlie gets resurrected on the third day? I saw that. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, bro. You got to be actually fucking kidding me, dog. Oh, Jesus Christ, bro. We're fucked. Hey, Chris, will you do coverage of the ICE raids in Chicago last night? They were rough. Let me look it up a little bit. ICE raids, Chicago. Yeah, every AI video of him looks like James Franco. It's weird. They were rough. A dude died. What? Huh? Man dies in Chicago ice raid. Oh! Man fatally shot during ICE traffic stop after dragging and injuring an officer in Chicago suburb. Yeah, I'd like to see the reality of that. I'd like to see the body cam footage. I've already seen so much footage of, like, ICE agents literally punching through fucking windows to grab random people out of their cars and they try to drive away, so I would not be surprised if that's what happened here. Legas Gonzalez drove his car at law enforcement officers, hitting one of them and dragging the other officer a significant distance. Yeah, dragging the other officer. I guarantee you the guy had his fucking arm in the wheel, in the window. And they're not going to give us the video of it.
Recall that the administration has surged officers to the Chicago area where they have been conducting immigration enforcement operations. Well, we're learning that this morning one of those operations turned deadly. Here's what we know about what unfolded in the Chicago suburbs, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Immigration and Customs Enforcement had participated in a vehicle stop of a driver. That driver, they say,
Good day,
resisted
Saipa. How are you?
arrest and had tried to drive off, and when they did so, was dragging an agent who was involved in this operation. The agent who was being dragged by the vehicle then was prompted to open fire. They shot that driver, and we are told by the Department of Homeland Security that they are deceased, and the agent has suffered serious injuries but is in stable condition. Now, as far as who this...
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the agent's life. You're telling me you shot and murdered a man who was running for his life because he was scared he was going to get deported illegally with no due process because he was racially profiled by masked Nazis? And you want me to be on the side of the masked Nazis? Nah.
Person is, according to the Department of Homeland Security, this is someone who is in the United States illegally and had a history of reckless driving, but it's not immediately clear when he came into the country.
Talking about last night when they were pulling over and arresting everybody with a Mexican flag on their vehicle. What? Really? Chris, can you give me some hope? In the next 365 days, you will get laid. If you're strong enough, my friend. Yeah, see, the man had been resisting arrest during a vehicle stop, so they probably punched into his fucking car the way that they did. You guys remember we watched a video about that a while ago?
Country, what his nationality is, or really anything else about this individual's record other than what the department has said, and that we now know that he is deceased after this incident unfolded this morning. Now, in a statement, Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said the following, quote, "We are praying for the speedy recovery of our law enforcement officer. He followed his training used appropriate force and properly enforced the law to protect the public and law enforcement." She goes on to say that viral social media videos and activists encouraging illegal aliens to resist law enforcement not only spread misinformation but also undermine public safety, as well as the safety of our
What's
officers
with the ringing in this
and
video?
those being...
I don't fucking know. They probably have an AC blasting in that newsroom. All right, so we're going to make a video about the Poles deploying NATO troops to fight against the Russians. 200,000 dead in Gaza. Trump vowing a national emergency so he can deploy ICE in blue states. And then we're going to cover this man getting shot and killed by ICE agents. I think that's pretty decent. See if there's any other... What the fuck? What is this? After beheading of Indian hotel manager? What the fuck? The time for being soft on these illegal immigrant criminals is over under my watch. What are they even talking about? What the fuck? You received a stabbing call. Some dude had his fucking head chopped off. That's so fucking crazy, dude. Dude, this nation is so dangerous. This nation is so violent. Have you always felt okay being this vitriolic? I'm not throwing shade, by the way. Just want to know if you've pushed towards this behavior or not. Just want to know if you push toward... I don't know what you mean by being vitriolic. Do you mean like how much I hate fascists? Yeah, I've always hated fascists. I don't know exactly what you mean. I'm sorry. You're going to have to elaborate. What is this? Governor Kathy Hochul of New York has endorsed the little communist. Why is he putting D's in this? Little? What does that even mean? What is that for? What the fuck are you, the little communist Zoran Mamdani running for mayor of New York? This is a rather shocking deployment and a very bad one for New York City. How can such a thing happen? Washington will be watching the situation very closely. No reason to be sending good money after bad. Vitriolic, filled with bitter criticism or malice. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, no, I am filled with bitter criticism and malice for fascists. I am an American. Americans believe in democracy. Americans believe in secular societies. Americans believe in the separation of church and state. Land of the free, home of the fucking brave. I have a deep-rooted hatred for anybody trying to force me to embrace their beliefs. It's very simple. That's American values. Oh, here's the thing about the Indian guy who got beheaded. Let's see. I'm aware of the terrible reports regarding the murder of Chandra Nagamalia, a well-respected person in Dallas, Texas, who was brutally beheaded in front of his wife and son. That is so fucked. By an illegal alien from Cuba who should have never been in our country. This individual was previously arrested for terrible crimes including child sex abuse, grand theft auto, false imprisonment, but was released back into our homeland under incompetent Joe Biden because Cuba did not want such an evil person in their country. Rest assured, the time for being soft on these illegal immigrant criminals is over under my watch. Do right, but I don't know why. No shot. Yo, George Floyd was murdered because of people like Charlie Kirk's ideology. Charlie Kirk was also murdered because of people like Charlie Kirk's ideology. And you've got the audacity to compare a man who was assassinated by a fucking psycho to a man who was murdered by a police officer. You can't even make this shit up, bro. You can't even make this shit up. Revoke Ilhan Omar's citizenship and deport her. I am Charlie. Oh my god, dude. These people live in a fucking anime. These people live in a fucking anime, dude. What is this? What is this? Oh god, bro. What the fuck is this? That's the gayest shit I've ever seen. That's gay as fuck, dog. Can't believe people actually take that platform seriously. I know. It's bad. Really bad. All right. So we got all that. Let's make a quick video. Let's make a quickie. Oh, let me also fill up my cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Enjoy the chair. Chris, I'll trade you my wife and kids for the dog and cat. That's an insane thing to say. Are you related to Chris Moltisanti? No, bro. People aren't related by first name. What? Thank you for the $2. Yeah, I'm also related to Chris Helmsworth, Chris Pratt, Christopher Walken, Christopher Reeves, Christopher Reeve, whatever. Sir Christopher Lee. When can we have a communist utopia? When everybody starts embracing fucking femboy bussy. All right, let's make this fucking video already. Let's make this video. You ready? All right. Nightmare, 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 nightmare. Poland president authorizes deployment of NATO troops in country. Nightmare, 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 nightmare. 200,000 people dead in Gaza, according to the IDF. Nightmare, 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 nightmare. Trump vows national emergency in response to Washington not embracing ICE agents. Nightmare, 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 nightmare. Man fatally shot in Chicago by ICE agents after trying to escape. Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. Hi, everybody. Thank you for the $5 donation. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm your nightmare, Chris Valenti. And today we have nightmares to cover. As you know, over the past week, everybody's been obsessed with Kirk's killer. I've made enough fucking videos about that. I'll probably make another one when more details come out, but I'll give you a quick recap what we know so far. The shooter, Tyler Robinson, raised by an entire family of MAGA Republicans, raised in gun culture. He was a Mormon. He spent 1 semester at a technical school to learn like how to become an electrician. Far-right Groyper. What else? He's not cooperating. He's not cooperating. The grandmother, they interviewed his grandmother and she took more offense at people calling him a leftist than what he did, which was really weird. She was like, he's not a fucking leftist. It's like, sweetheart, there's a little something else that he did that you should probably be focused on. But regardless, that's all we got on the Charlie Kirk news. Other than that, JD Vance hosted the Charlie Kirk show today. He's doing it right now. It's fucking weird. It's weird. But other than that, we have a bunch of other news to cover, so we will cover it right now. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And if you do want to support the channel financially, because this is real independent media, and I have no funding, all you got to do is buy merch down below, hit the thanks button to donate down below, use the 40% off discount code for Ground News down below, become a member down below, and become a patron on Patreon. But without further ado, let's just dive right in. Poland's president authorizes deployment of NATO troops in country, move part of alliance's response to incursion by Russian drones into Polish airspace. Now, if you don't know, because maybe you've been too focused on the Charlie Kirk stuff, I believe 19 Russian drones entered Polish airspace, and the Poles fucking scrambled fighter jets. There was like Polish jets, Italian jets, German jets, Dutch jets. They fucking scrambled the jets to shoot down 6 of these drones, which is the first time in NATO's history that we have engaged in air-to-air combat in allied airspace. We've done it in, enemy airspace, a Korean War, shit like that, the Vietnam War. But this is the first time that we've had something like this in American fucking airspace. Polish President Karol Nawrocki signed a resolution Sunday authorizing the deployment in Poland of NATO forces in response to an incursion by Russian drones into the country's airspace. It's a drill. It is not a drill. What you are talking about is every 4 years, the Russians and, I think Lithuanian troops, Belarusian troops, they all do like a war games exercise. That is coincidentally when this is happening. The president of the Republic of Poland, Karol Nawrocki, has signed a resolution authorizing the presence of a foreign military component from the state parties to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, on the territory of the Republic of Poland as part of an Operation Eastern Sentry. The president's resolution is classified. Operation Eastern Sentry was announced in Brussels by NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte on Friday following drone incursions into Poland and Warsaw's invocation of NATO's Article 4. Rutte said the plan aims to strengthen NATO's eastern flank in response to Russia's action. NATO's Supreme Allied Commander of Europe, General Alexis G. Grinkovic, said the operation would integrate air and land defense to address a wide range of threats from Russia. Quote, in the early hours of Wednesday, September 10th, numerous Russian drones violated Polish airspace. NATO's air defenses were activated and successfully ensured the defense of NATO territory. Quote, while this was the largest concentration of violations of NATO airspace that we have seen, what happened on Wednesday was not an isolated incident. Russia's recklessness in the air along our eastern flank is increasing in frequency. We have seen drones violate our airspace in Romania, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Whether intentional or not, it is dangerous and unacceptable. Today, General Groyper and I are here to announce that NATO is launching, quote, Eastern Sentry to bolster our posture even further along our eastern flank. This military activity will commence in the coming days and will involve a range of assets from allies including Denmark, France, the United Kingdom, Germany, and others. This is fucked. This is so fucked, bro. And the thing is, Donnie Diddle's kids came out and said, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe Russia didn't mean to send their drone. 19 drones into Poland? Poland. The nation that was invaded by Adolf Hitler in 1939? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, whoops. Oopsie. Oh! Didn't mean to trigger the most fucking insane PTSD of all time. Like, guys, there are motherfuckers from Poland who were alive for the invasion, from the Nazi invasion, who are alive now. You understand the fucking deja vu they're probably feeling right now? And Stalin, yes, and Stalin, Hitler and Stalin. Both. This is back when the Russians and the Germans were allied for the invasion of Poland. I linked a map and the link showing how Russia's testing NATO's response for their... I'll check it out later. NATO is providing a firm, clear response. Eastern Sentry is a clear, decisive response. This is a very serious operation, probably one of the largest in NATO's history. 8 countries have currently declared their willingness to join Operation Eastern Sentry. Jesus fucking Christ. It's not just counter-drone, but air defense applies to missiles, applies to aviation, applies to all types of threats that may arise. So here's also the thing, guys. The fact that they had to scramble jets to take down 6 drones is not a good sign. That's far too expensive. It costs a lot of money to scramble jets to shoot down dog shit, probably like $500 to $600 Iranian Shahed drones. You know what I'm saying? You need anti-drone technology that is cheap and efficient, not scrambling manned fighter jets in order to do... You think they did it for aura farming? You're out of your fucking mind, brother. So, all right, so we've got the war in Ukraine is starting to spill over to Poland. Meanwhile, a little bit further across the fucking planet, with Israel's genocide on the Palestinians, we've got an ex-IDF chief saying, quote, we took the gloves off, and he confirms that the Gaza casualties are over 200,000. Now, if you're new here, I've been saying this for months, that the official number was somewhere like 40,000 civilians have died, or sorry, 40,000 people have died. And I was like, that's bullshit. It's probably between 200 and 400,000 people have died. And the Israelis admit that 86% of the casualties are civilians, which again is what the Israelis are willing to admit, which implies that the real number is much higher. And I would go as far as to assume 90 to 95% of all the casualties have been civilians. Now, you hear that and you go, what the fuck? How could they accidentally kill so many civilians? It's not an accident. The Israelis are purposefully killing civilians because the Israelis want to exterminate the Palestinians. They want to expand Greater Israel, completely and fully colonize all of Gaza, all of Palestine, the West Bank, Jordan, Iraq, Syria. This is... unironically, what you saw or what you're seeing happen to the Palestinians is literally chapter 1 of a long novel of Israeli expansion. Or it's not really chapter 1, it's like chapter 3. You know what I mean? It's like chapter 3. This is not the end of the conflict. This is the first step to a much larger genocide. Former Israeli commander Herzi Halevi had confirmed that more than 200,000 Palestinians have been killed or injured in the war in Gaza, and that not once in the course of the conflict were military operations inhibited by legal advice. So that means that they have been given carte blanche to do whatever they want. They have no legal repercussions for any sort of war crimes that they commit. Halevi stepped down as the chief of staff in March after leading the Israeli Defense Forces for the first 17 months of the genocide, which is now approaching its 2nd anniversary. The retired general told a community meeting in southern Israel earlier this week that more than 10% of Gaza's 2.2 million population had been killed or injured, more than 200,000 people. That estimate is notable as it is close to the current figures provided by Gaza's health ministry, which Israeli officials have frequently dismissed as Hamas propaganda. Though the ministry figures have been deemed reliable by international humanitarian agencies, the current official toll is 64,000 Palestinians killed in Gaza and 163,000 injured. Jesus fucking Christ. What's up, Chris? World on Fire, teaching people about how Groypers are the human equivalent of shitting in your hands and clapping? No, literally, that's a really good reference. All right, quote, "No one is working gently," Halevi said, but insisted the IDF operates within the constraints of international humanitarian law. That claim has been repeated throughout the war by Israeli officials who have said that military lawyers are involved in operational decisions. That's not true at all. Quote, "Not once has anyone restricted me. Not once. Not the military AG, who, by the way, hasn't the authority to restrict me. There are legal advisors who say, we will know how to defend this legally in the world, and this is very important for the state of Israel." So now we just have the Israelis admitting that they're committing a genocide and that no one ever stopped them. You know what this is? This is them trying to cover their ass. They're trying to say, like, hey, we were never told to not do this, which is hilarious because it's like, brother, do you need to be told to not snipe a pregnant woman? Do you need to be told to not shoot a 7-year-old in between the fucking eyes? Do you really need to be told these things? Because this is supposed to just go without being said if you are a human being with a soul. On Wednesday, the Haaretz newspaper reported that Halevi's successor, IDF Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir, had ignored Tomer Yeshuralami's legal advice. The Advocate General has reportedly said that the displacement orders to an estimated 1 million Gaza City residents to leave before an IDF offensive should be postponed until there are facilities in southern Gaza to receive them. They don't give a fuck about that. They don't give a shit about that. Israel, the trip that threatened to leave me behind when I natively went on birthright. Dude, they threatened to leave you there? That's so fucked up. Anyway, all right, so we've got Ukraine spilling into Poland. We've got fucking literal living Nazis saying, hey, no one ever tried to stop me. And now we've got Trump vowing a national emergency in Washington, D.C., which is just a violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. President Trump said on Monday that he would call a national emergency to federalize Washington, D.C. after Mayor Muriel Bowser said its police would not cooperate with ICE. Oh, Jesus. In just a few weeks, the place is absolutely booming. For the first time in decades, virtually no crime. Trump also said, he was like, they try to report crime. You know, when there's a little fight with the wife and the husband hits the wife, they try to report that as crime. That's not crime. Yeah, that tracks for Donnie Diddles, kids. That totally fucking tracks. Radical left Democrats are the ones who are in charge of this. Crime will come roaring back. To the people of Washington, D.C., don't worry, I am with you, and I won't allow this to happen. I'll call a national emergency and federalize if necessary. Dude, I've been warning about this for over a year. Who here is like a longtime viewer who was here when I've been like, yo, so what Trump is going to do is invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807 after saying that we have a national emergency because we've been invaded from the southern border. The Insurrection Act of 1807 overpowers the Posse Comitatus Act, which gives the United States military the ability to practice law enforcement within the United States of America. That is the modern equivalent of just declaring martial law nationwide. Inshallah! You're lying. I've been watching for 10 years and never once heard you say this. You're lying. I've not been making content for 10 years. Liar, 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 pants on fire. So, and just so you know, amidst all of this ICE shit that's going on, we got Trump who sent ICE into Chicago and they fucking shot a dude. They shot and killed a dude, bro. And if you remember, I think it was a couple of weeks back, give me back my frames. Give me back my frames. A couple of weeks back, we were watching a video of ICE agents trying to stop this guy with his son in the car, and he was completely cooperating with them, and they punched through the windshield and tried to grab the wheel. So the guy drives off, and he ends up like getting shot at. ICE ends up shooting at the car, but nobody got hit. And we said back then, I was like, somebody's gonna get hit. This is gonna keep on fucking going. And it seems like that exact same situation has happened again, except this time they didn't just shoot, they shot and killed. Man fatally shot during ICE traffic stop. We've got the little coverage here. Let me just bring this out for you. Here you go. She could say it better than me.
That the administration has surged officers to the Chicago area where they have been conducting immigration enforcement operations. Well, we're learning that this morning one of those operations turned deadly. Here's what we know about what unfolded in the Chicago suburbs, according to the Department of Home.
By the way, I will not believe a single word of the story until I see body cam footage from the fucking ICE Gestapo Nazi who shot and killed this man. Granted, we probably won't see that footage because most of these masked ICE Gestapo Nazis do not wear body cams because they know what they're doing is illegal.
Homeland Security. Immigration and Customs Enforcement had participated in a vehicle stop of a driver. That driver, they say, had resisted arrest and had tried to drive off, and when they did so, was dragging an agent who was involved in this operation. The agent who was being dragged by the vehicle then was prompted to open fire. They shot that driver, and we are told by the Department of Homeland Security that they are deceased, and the agent has suffered serious injuries, but is in...
Aw, poor agent. Poor Nazi. Aw, you got hurt when you fucking emptied your clip into the back of some innocent guy's fucking head after you racially profiled him on fucking Mexican Independence Day?
Stable condition. Now, as far as who this person is, according to the Department of Homeland Security, this is someone who is in the United States illegally.
Apparently, there is top-down footage of this. I don't really know how to find that, but we'll find it and then we'll cover it. And you will give me back my frames, and you will give them back now. Right now. Good boy. All right. I'm losing too many frames. I really do have to buy this computer. I need to stop being a lazy piece of shit. If you're here live, you stay. We're going to keep going. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning into the Nightmare News. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Costs you nothing. Donate to the channel. Buy merch. Use the everything. Become a member. Fuck you. And do me one last favor. Click that video over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers. Whoa. Okay. I don't know why. If I know you might. Alrighty. You know what time it is, right, folks? Give me back my frames. Give me them back. Give me my frames back. Give me my frames. Give them back. Give me my fucking frames. Now that right there is a good picture. Hell, fucking yeah. All right, there's a great picture. I'll be taking that one. I'll be using that for a thumbnail. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. Growth. It's time for growth. The dildo of destiny comes often, and it rarely arrives lubed. Are you ready to be fucked? They threatened to ditch me because I was like, you're telling me in 70 years you're going to introduce Palestinians to alcohol and tax-free casinos? Dude, you're playing a dangerous game. Episode 237. Have you tried voice acting? Yes. Dude, I went to acting school. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. So we need Canva and YouTube. In a world where fat bitches throw it back, will you be brave enough to thrust? I don't want to hear it from none of you. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from none of you. I saw that. Marco Rubio, he has the power to revoke U.S. citizens' passports for speaking out against Israel. I saw that. They're also doing checks for anybody coming into the United States. They're checking to see if they sufficiently grieved Charlie Kirk's death. And if you did not sufficiently grieve his death, they will just turn you away upon entry into the United States. We live in hell. Are you related to The Sopranos? No, but before The Sopranos was filming, the entire cast met with my father for like character study, which was hilarious. There's like a picture of them on a yacht with my dad. Grief check. This is the first live of yours, and I'm highly enjoying it. Thank you very much. I'm sorry about the lost frame rates. I may be good at speaking and I may have good politics, but I'm a fucking idiot when it comes to tech. I'm like a monkey just punching through the fucking screen. So it really does, I'm working on it. And that's where you guys come in as a community. That's where, you know, you guys help me figure out what computer to buy, how to upgrade my specs. I mean, this is better than it was before. If you're a longtime fan, then you guys remember how bad it fucking was beforehand. You know? If our love is tragedy, why are you my clarity?
Una mattina mi sono alzato. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 sei mio, oh partigiano, che mi sento di morir. Un partigiano, portami via. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 partigiano. Portami via, che mi sento di morir.
Parlo italiano. Sì, parlo poco italiano. Dio dammi la serenità di citare, il coso che non posso cambiare, il coraggio di cambiare, il coso che posso, e la sarchezza di capire nella differenza, e nome di Padre, e Figlio e Spirito Santo.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Bella Cafefi! Oh! Bella Cafefi. Boots! Bella Cafefi. Boots! Bella Cafefi. Boots! We're gonna go here with Welcome to World War III. Boots, 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 moving up and down again. Men, 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 men go mad with what they're witnessing. There's no discharge in the war. Oh! Did it crash? Did what crash?
Good singing, but I'm not sure you have the makings of a varsity athlete.
No, I do not. I certainly do not. Good God, he's stimming. Good God, he's stimming. Make him stop! Chris, tell people how great I am. Avi is so great. By the way, guys, Avi just uploaded on this channel a compilation of my best hits on the original YouTube, not YouTube, the original TikTok account, and he uploaded it, and it's for members only. So go become a member and go check out that video, and then while you're at it, give me back my frames! What was the last thing that went through Charlie Kirk's mind? Gang violence. That was the literal last thing he said. Was the word gang violence. 2 words. Boof, 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 boofing up and down again. Men, 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 men. Go mad with what they're boofing in them. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, yeah, the Channel 5 interview with the dude who was like the last one to interview him. That was pretty fucking crazy. I saw little bits and pieces of that. Bye-bye frames. I know, it's bad. 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 You guys need to forgive me for this. And if you don't forgive me, you too will be blamed. You either forgive me or you get banned. Hi, Beans. All right, so this is going to be called Breaking. NATO deploys troops in Poland. Israel kills Israel. NATO. Breaking. NATO deploys troops in Poland. Thank you for the $2. Breaking. NATO deploys troops in Poland. Israel admits they killed 200,000 innocent Palestinians. Okay. Major escalation in Europe and the latest chapter of Israeli war crimes. Chicago ICE murder. I'll check it out in a second. Let's see.
Beans, what are you crying about?
Breaking news, a man is dead and an ICE agent seriously hurt after an immigration.
In this surveillance video from a nail salon, you see ICE officers pull up in a Jeep with lights flashing right in front of a silver Subaru. The Department of Homeland Security says the man behind the wheel is Silverio Villegas Gonzalez. Officers walk over to the car. One goes to the passenger side window, the other to the driver's side window. The officer at the passenger side appears to try to open the door. Then Villegas
You can't do
Gonzalez...
that. You cannot just go up to somebody and open their door. Even cops can't fucking do that unless they have, like, probable cause.
Starts backing up, then drives away. You still see the officer who was at the passenger side door in the video. But what you don't see is the officer who was at the driver's side window. DHS says Villegas Gonzalez refused to follow law enforcement commands and drove his car at law enforcement officers, hitting an officer.
So you're saying that the masked ICE Nazi was in the guy's window holding on, trying to rip him out of the car, and the guy was driving for his fucking life? Sounds like this guy had every reason to try and drive away, considering the fact that you fucking killed him.
Then dragging him as he fled the scene. In this other surveillance video from a nearby business, you see the truck driver go west down Grand Avenue. A short time later, you hear what sounds like 2 gunshots. The statement from DHS says, fearing for his own life, the officer fired his weapon. After leaving the scene with police, Villegas Gonzalez crashed his Subaru, ending up under this truck.
He was dead. What do you mean he crashed his Subaru? You killed him. There was no one driving it because you killed him.
The truck driver posted this video on social media.
I'm a CDL truck driver, and a car hit my trailer because I think ICE tried to pull him over, and he crashed into my trailer.
You also see 2 officers on the ground next to Villegas Gonzalez. Jose Pedro de Blas works at a nearby auto shop. De Blas captured this video of the scene after the shooting happened.
When I go out and I see a large police presence, military presence, I even saw a guy with a FBI jacket, and like you only see those at the movies.
Villegas Gonzalez.
Bro, those are not federal agents. These are literally just like white, white supremacists, Proud Boys, Patriot Front, Like, these are not actual troops. None of their fucking gear is matching. This guy's wearing jeans. This guy's wearing camo. Like, this is so embarrassing.
See those at the movies.
Look at this fat fuck. Hold on. Look at this guy. Look at this 5 foot nothing wearing a ski mask fucking piece of shit. Dude, this is the most, like, this is so embarrassing as a nation, as a society. This is so embarrassing to even look at. Unfucking believable. All right. Let's get this uploaded. ICE is not just the most corrupt thing ever. ICE is the most dangerous paramilitary force ever created in the United States of America. This is the literal equivalent to the SS or the brown shirts. Alrighty. Just finishing uploading this. Whoa. All right. NATO deploys troops in Poland. Israel admits they killed 200,000 innocent Palestinians. Let's see how the video starts. Please start on time. Country. Nightmare, 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 nightmare. 200,000. Yeah, that works. That works. Video published. Good work, everybody. Another day, another dollar. You know how it is. Doing the Lord's work. You know how it is.
Breaking news, a man is dead and an ICE
this.
agent seriously hurt after an immigration arrest ended.
We just watched that. When a literal student of history tells you things look like the SS, it probably looks like the SS. Dude, what I find so funny is that these right-wing MAGA bootlicking chuds were actual super fans of me. 3 million followers, super fans of the history. They knew I was smart. They loved my content. They were obsessed with the history. And then as soon as I said, hey, by the way, you know those fascists I've been teaching you about? I think this guy's one of them. They went, you don't know what you're talking about, you fucking liberal piece of shit, Marxist, Leninist, Mumdanist. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You've never known what you were talking about, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, you've never known anything. Fucking, dude, you couldn't write this shit if you paid me to. DNA evidence lists suspect to the killing of Charlie Kirk. Found a tallow wrap with a rifle believed to have used in Charlie Kirk matches that of Tyler Robinson. I'm still curious to see if this kid pleads innocent or guilty. Or Ginnocent. All right, so let's see. What do we got? Fox News host has Patel about reports that the suspect had written a note. The written note, we believe, did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, the suspect wrote a note basically saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. Dude, the FBI handled this shit so poorly. Look at this. I'll see you in Valhalla. I was being transparent, referring to the social media updates. The job of the FBI is not just to manhunt the actual suspect, but it's also to eliminate targets and suspects who are not involved. Could I have worded it a little better? Sure. Do I regret putting it out? Absolutely not. Yeah, this is about when fucking he put up the wrong guy, said, we got the guy, and then they were like, never mind, no, we didn't. It's not the right guy. Oh, it's almost like when you put like a fucking dumbass podcaster as the deputy director of the FBI. It starts to suck. The FBI starts to be fucking useless. That's so strange. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? You know? Oh, $20 donation. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is meeting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem amid rising tensions.
Kiss the wall, Marco. Kiss the fucking wall, Marco.
There, following Israel's strike on Hamas leaders in Qatar. Our
Kiss the wall, Marco. Kiss the fucking wall. Kiss the wall.
In the Holy City now. Good morning, Jillian.
Hi from beautiful Jerusalem. Aisha, Secretary of State Marco Rubio just sat down with me for an exclusive and wide-ranging interview. He broke the news that he's going to head to Qatar next after he leaves Israel to sit down with officials there as they hash out a response to Israel's surprise attacks last week. But he also made very clear that even here, halfway across the world, his thoughts are still very much.
You're Fox News. Can't you figure out the microphone gain, the noise gate? Why am I hearing that car, that guy who's having the worst day of his life, fucking spam that horn? This guy must be stuck behind a fucking moose.
With Jillian
Listen to this
Turner,
shit.
she is live in the Holy City now. Good morning, Jillian.
Hi from beautiful Jerusalem. Aisha, Secretary of State Marco Rubio just sat down with me for an exclusive and wide-ranging interview. He broke the news that he's going to head to Qatar next
Dude,
after he leaves Israel to sit down with officials there as they hash out a response to Israel's surprise attacks last week. But he also made very clear that even here, halfway across the world,
get out of the way!
At home, he announced to us that he plans to revoke the visas of foreigners who are seen celebrating or otherwise glorifying Charlie's assassination. Take a listen.
To this country, we should not be giving visas to people who are going to come to the United States and do things like celebrate the murder, the execution, the assassination of a political figure.
So you're not going to give visas to people who didn't sufficiently grieve Charlie Kirk? Motherfucker, First Amendment, bitch! Motherfucker, First Amendment! I can cheer all I want! Motherfuckers can cheer all they want! That's not a crime, dude! That's not a crime! So we're just at thought police now. We're literally just at thought police now.
We should not, and if they're already here, we should be revoking their visa. Why?
Oh, so yeah, oh shit.
Would we want to bring people into our country that are going to engage in negative and destructive behavior?
Before Fox News sat down with Rubio, he had spent 2 hours one-on-one with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu this morning talking about the Israeli assault on Gaza City. Rubio is here to signal President Trump's ironclad support for Israel, he says.
Ironclad support for Israel, bro. Dude, this nation, we're a fucking pathetic nation, dude.
He visited the Western Wall yesterday where he prayed alongside the Prime Minister. Rubio's trip to Doha also comes as Qatar right now is holding an emergency meeting with allies to decide on a response to Israel's shock attack last week. Mr. Secretary, that by traveling to Doha while they are holding these meetings, the Prime Minister here is going to feel not snubbed because you just met with him, but feel sort of...
Our relationship with Israel is not going to be affected by any of this. We're going to continue to be strong allies and partners. The President, as President said, he wasn't happy with the way things went down. That doesn't mean we're going to stop being their partner and their ally. But our message, both here in Jerusalem and also in Doha, will be what it's been consistently, and that is, despite, we're not diminishing it, we're not asking you to ignore it.
We also, Aisha, spoke about his goals and the president's goals to continue focusing on getting all the remaining hostages in Hamas.
Shut the fuck up. You have never cared about the hostages. Netanyahu has never cared about the hostages. Half of those hostages that died were killed by Israeli bombs. The reason why their bodies haven't been brought back is because they were turned into pink mist. Dude, Israel could have sent in special forces on October 8th to get those hostages back. Netanyahu was giddy at the idea that they were hostages because that meant that he could prolong this war as long as he fucking wanted and had a legitimate excuse to do so.
Activity released, he said they are no longer going to negotiate piecemeal. They want the remaining out altogether along with a ceasefire deal at once. Nothing else, he says, is on the table anymore. Aisha.
Okay, Jillian Turner reporting live from Jerusalem for us.
Your bus won't be there till 4? Oh, get shitted on, bro. I'm a senior. That fucking does suck, bro. I'm sorry. Get shitted on. Get shitted on. Get shit on. Get shit on. ICE calls for the removal of man accused of machete beheading at Dallas motel. See, this is where, like, I'll say something that I don't know if, like, super libbed up fucking people are going to be mad at me, but, like, that's an example of, like, where I try to tell the right wing, like, yes, deport that guy. If somebody is here illegally and they do something like behead an innocent man, I'm all for giving them due process under the law, charging them with a heinous fucking crime, and then deporting them to the nation they came from and making sure they actually end up in a prison there. I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is just deporting everybody you can willy-nilly left and fucking right with no due process. What are we talking about? I don't understand how this is like controversial shit. Hi, Beans. Oh, this is a neighbor.
I want to send it over to my colleague, Cannon Seacrest. He was the first reporter here early this morning in this neighborhood, keeping an eye on
this, especially here in Washington County.
It's kind of scary, you know, because there's been a lot of different things that's happened in St. George recently, like the Ruby Frankie situation, now this. It's just wild to think that there's all these people around here and you don't know what's going on or what people are thinking and planning on doing. Like, no one would have ever expected someone from Washington, Utah going to trying to assassinate Charlie Kirk and succeeding with it.
Neighbors tell me their hearts are with the Robinson family, who face the difficult decision of turning their son in.
You just got to do what you believe is best and what you believe is right, and they believe that the best thing to do was turn their son, and I can't imagine how hard that would be, especially because it sounds like that they didn't know what to do at first. I probably would just call the cops first and then turn them in, but you got to do what you got to do. But I feel for their family, and I think it's a scary time that they're going through, and I hope for the best for all of them and all their siblings and everything, and hope they do well.
The death of Charlie Kirk has sent shockwaves throughout communities across Utah, and some are hoping that this will be a turning point for healing, not just.
Bro, it's the irony is not lost on me that they keep on bringing up turning point. I think it's intentional. Like dude, this is what makes me think it was government orchestrated. It's just everything plays so perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Turning Point USA. And then the guy gets shot and they call that the turning point in the USA. You know what I mean? It's so perfect.
Here in Utah, but throughout the nation.
It's scary. The more the time goes on, the more everyone keeps getting divided, and it's just going down a darker path, which sucks. And I hope that his death can bring us all together more and bring peace and all that. But the way that it's looking right now, it's not looking like that's going to be the case.
Oh, by the way, you see that bottom chyron? I just want to point out. So Brazil had an attempted coup d'etat, just like we had in January 6th. And it was led by their former leader, Bolsonaro. He just got charged with 27 years in prison. That's how you do it. You want to know why we're seeing stuff like the rise of fascism and why we're seeing the glorification of political violence? It's because after the closest we ever got to a violent military coup d'etat, which was January 6th, the closest we got to that, our reaction as a society was to release the men in charge of it and then elect the leader as the president of the United States, sort of telling the whole country, hey, you can commit political violence, you can attempt to overthrow the government, and you'll be fine. As long as you're on our side, we'll help you out. And that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. If you didn't want to see this, then what you should have done is kept every January 6th insurrectionist in prison, and you should have arrested Donald Trump, charged him with decades in prison for trying to overthrow the United States government. But no, instead, you showed the whole world that it is okay to try and use violence to overthrow the United States fucking government. God damn it, Beans, what did you just knock over? I feel like any death in their party would have been martyred to this extent. No, bro. If it was Ben Shapiro, they wouldn't have given a fuck. When they were going through the list of people to hit, they were probably like, Ben Shapiro? And they were like, nah, no one would give a fuck. And then they're like, Charlie Kirk? And they're like, Oh, that'll do it. That'll get the base riled up.
Now, I talked with countless neighbors out here today. One who just lived a few houses down, had lived here next to them for 25 plus years. And overall, everyone has just been completely shocked. Sarah, back to you.
Candace Owens, too black. They won't give a shit. What is this?
In western North Carolina, where shots were fired after a Trump flag was torn down outside of a rafting company.
The sign, and when he stood there in front of the sign and reached up, I'm like, I can't believe this.
In this video, captured Saturday, September 6th, you see a man park next to paddle-in rafting, walk across the street, and tear a Trump banner off of a sign.
I watched him until he reached up and started pulling the sign down.
That's the craziest setup I've ever seen. This guy's filming from a fucking potato with a Windows 95 Xbox 360 headset on.
And, you know, it's just a shock. The sign's been up there for a long time.
The owner of the company.
That's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Mark Thomas, watching the scene live, says he went outside and fired his rifle twice in the air.
You know, let him know.
America is so cooked, bro. I saw this man ripping down a flag on my property. So, of course, I got my rifle, went outside, and fired right at the motherfucker. That's your fucking reaction to tearing down a flag?
That somebody's watching him, you know, and didn't appreciate it.
Then, as the man drives off, you see him raise his gun out of the sunroof of his...
The fuck? Okay, so both sides. This is what I mean. How do you fix a society like this? How do you fix a society where everyone's got a goddamn gun? What the fuck is that?
That's when the owner says that man shot at him.
Society in general is really, really disappointing. You know, I know what this country could be. I know how we all...
Brother sounds like the Marlboro Red. He just said... So I went outside, and I fired my gun in the air. And this motherfucker had the audacity to fire a shot right back at me. Now that's not the America I know. When you shoot at somebody, they're not supposed to shoot back.
Could be together.
This comes after a wave of recent political violence, and one Thomas says has to stop.
That's also the funniest shooting position I've ever seen. Driving like this. Fuck you! Like, that is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
See something, say something, do something. Become part of a respectable community and just make it known we will not stand for this stuff.
The Swain County Sheriff's Office says if you know anything about the situation or recognize the car, you're asked to call the Sheriff's Office right away.
They don't even have the guy.
That phone number is 828.
They don't even have the fucking guy. Oh! Oh my God. Look at this. Breaking news. ICE offers $50,000 bonus and $60,000 in student debt repayment and 25% premium pay to new recruits. You want to get your college debt paid off? Join the Gestapo. Oh, Jesus Christ. You gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. GG. Okay, I'm in the wrong place. I will remove myself. Bye. Bye. Crazy. All right, guys, if you're here live, the only people here left are live. If you're here, thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti broadcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing and it helps me immensely. And please donate to the channel. Help me out financially. This is real independent media. I have no funding. Every dollar goes a long way. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good one. Stay safe. Keep your head up. Keep hope alive. Everything will get better. It just has to get worse first. Have a good one, guys. Bye.